got the timer up on their screens. They're ready to go.
They don't move on to semis, but they do have job offers at GameStop because, boy, do they love making some unfortunately bad trades.
Died. I just stopped laughing from the crack, and I look over, and he's got a whole orange slice in his mouth.
It was a lemon.
He's having one of those moments right now, bro. He's
Hello, everybody. Welcome on in. It is White Dudes, a podcast. It's Smite related. It's late at Smite. My name is Anthony Malum. Got D-Lo and Kingfisher by my side. We have been casting together for years, and with Smite 2 on the horizon, it seemed like the perfect time to get together and yap about said Smite. Guys, we're here. We have it all set up. We have our first topic later on here, but let's start. Fun. How are we feeling?
It's solid, man. It's been a good day for me so far. I've been having a lot of fun. Been having a lot of fun recently with the current meta, and I think we're actually in a good place, not only just in terms of our excitement for Smite 2, but I think we're launching off of a good point in Smite 1 as well, which feels good when that transition, I think, can be a bit more fluid in that sense. So I'm feeling good, Anthony.
Fisher, same?
Yeah, I've been waiting for a Malum podcast for years, so yeah, very
getting your
excited
wish.
to get started, you know? I know, right? Finally. I was actually the secret architect behind the whole thing, just covertly whispering.
You were one of
in
the
your
first
ear
to bully
for
me and
years.
ask me a little bit. I will give you that. It was a lot of STL people wanted that, but you were among the first to bully that back in the day. Well, let's start simple
Nice.
for those who have not been subjected to hearing us in the past, we'll say.
Fortunate folks.
We'll start and we'll go through and just say a little bit about ourselves. Who are we? What do we, when did you start watching Smite? When did you start playing Smite? And a little bit about yourself. Let's start with D-Lo. Let's go with the long-haired, handsome man in the bottom.
My long hands.
corner of the
I'm
screen.
famously known for my hands being very, very long. Difficult to
you
buy
give
gloves
Larry
that
Bird
can fit me.
vibes.
And you know what that means. They say long hands, long socks, long boots. Long boots, long socks. Anyway.
Sheesh.
My sock. Actually, hold on. My socks do be kind of long today. Hold up. Check this out. Long socks.
Is that a
Anyway.
koala?
What's that on him?
It is a koala. And Anthony, you know how we feel about that.
We love our
Right?
koalas.
Yeah. Big koala fans. Man, the lore's already coming full circle. Anyway, let's actually get on topic here. My bad. I had to distract y'all with free
I know.
sock
It
pics.
took us
Anywho.
less than 5 minutes to lose topic.
I'm just here for the clickbait. Get the clip going. Get them views racking. I'm trying to get your AdSense up here, Malum. You're welcome. As far as my backstory, I played Smite. Gosh darn it. When was it? I'd say when Kepri was released was when I started to get really into it, and then I dropped when Pele got added in. Then it was just a long road of me watching weekend clips and such, until I happened to come across in my little voice acting side quest, I came across an ad from an unsuspecting draft league SDL up by a man named Anthony Malum, one of very handsome hair and beardage. And ever since then, I just got back into it. I hadn't played the game for 5 years, but it's been a hell of a journey since then. 2 years casting it alongside you dummies. It's been a good one.
Heck yeah, it has. It has been a long one too. I think that's one of the things that I kind of forget about, just how long we've actually been doing the Smite thing itself. I mean, we'll get further into that, but that means with D-Lo's out of the way, we get to hear about the legacy of the Kingfisher, which is a bird. Let's just address that early on. It's a bird.
Very, very important. Always have to clarify that. Everyone thinks it's a fish. It's not a fish. It's a bird. Miraculous bird. But yeah, no, I started playing Smite, I think like end of year 6. Cthulhu was the god that released. And then I started casting that. I'd already been casting Rainbow Six. So I just kind of hopped games there because Rainbow Six is very hard to cast and Smite was more fun to cast at the time. So started doing that, and then kind of similar to D-Lo, I got to the SDL when it first started. That was my first big league, but I think I was the first caster there from a different draft league. Cannot remember the name of it. Sorry for all
I think it was
all that
Husky
draft
Fang.
fans. That might have been it. Yeah, as people that know me know, I have a famously absolutely horrible memory, so I can never remember names, times, dates. But yeah, something like that. Started casting at SDL, and just like that, been casting for two years with these two. Very fun, very good times.
Yeah, just about coming up on anniversaries are passing
September,
/have
right?
passed. Yeah, September.
We're out to dinner, guys.
Oh, we're
What's
on my
the
birthday.
restaurant?
I'm a big steakhouse guy. I feel Fisher gives me steakhouse vibes, so I think that's a W.
Seafood.
Full of
Okay,
chow,
okay,
maybe?
okay.
But no steakhouse.
Surf and turf, then. Surf and
No,
turf. A happy marriage with a toe.
I'm fine with steakhouse.
Yeah,
but
surf
I'd
and
rather
turf's a
have
good
good
call.
seafood than good steak.
Okay, so surf and turf is the call. What about you, D'Lo? Where do you fit in?
CC's Pizza.
We'll see what we can do.
Feels
We'll stop on the way
classy,
home.
okay.
I'm not. Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm not really sure where that one fits in, but if we can find something that really blends all those together, I think we got a good night ahead of us.
Yeah, we'll stop on the way home. Now for my favorite thing,
Steak,
I
seafood,
always love so
seeds.
much talking about myself. We all know how much I love that. For me, I met you guys through SDL. That's a safe route to start with. Around the same time as Fisher started, I wasn't super late into SDL. I was one of the first casters, but not the first. I auditioned for SDL as a chair 2 because when I started casting, which my first ever Smite cast was 2016, I was a chair 2 only. Basically, I had the logic of, wow, I don't have the voice or the vibes for a chair 1. Who would ever want to listen to that as play-by-play? I stopped doing Smite casting for a while. I did podcasting for a while, and then I did, eventually I did a Tekken tournament. I did play-by-play for a Tekken tournament. Didn't know anything about Tekken, but it went really well, and the reception to it and the feedback I got from it got me super, super, super involved and excited about that idea. So I said, okay, let me get back into Smite, see how it goes. So I found SDL on Reddit, auditioned as a chair 2 with the owner of SDL, Nublet, who was like, you sure you want to do chair 2? I was like, yeah. He was like, can we do like a run through of you as play-by-play just to give it a shot? And I was like, sure, I'll do chair 1. And then about 2 days later, there was a tournament. One of the chair 1s had to leave, and I ended up getting thrown onto a cast with Fisher for my first play-by-play Smite cast. I made a Dora the Explorer joke during picks and bans that Fisher did not laugh at. And now, and this was in September of 2022. Now I am on the Smite 2 casting team. So it's Smite 2 launching on August 27th. Whenever eventually the esports gets started up, I will be casting on that with the rest of the team. So I guess thanks for not laughing at my Dora joke, Fisher. I guess that's the moral of the story.
I was a catalyst. You're welcome.
That was the
that's
catalyst.
What launched it. In my defense, I do not like Dora the Explorer. Oh my gosh! I've
But it
seen
was
so
More of a
much
good
of that
Goji
joke.
and Go
monster
fan, huh?
that it is just tainted.
I remember I was so
No.
nervous too, so I was like,
No,
oh,
Dora the
I'll
Explorer.
float vibes of a joke and try to get things started at kind of a chill pace, and it falls on deaf ears. Dude, I was so upset.
Wait, Anthony,
Just hit
remember
the
that-
plate like a brick
remember-
with that.
remember that freaking time, Anthony, that I made made a Dora Explorer joke on the cast that you were helping me out with Sporty for Rocket League, and he also hated
didn't
it.
laugh, yeah.
Dora the Explorer jokes just do
was
not
so
land with our
good.
target
Casting
audience.
for
We've
it.
got to abandon ship on that one. It's all about Go Diego Go. That's what all the kids are listening to.
Shout out to Belgabad the Great One, who has pointed out Fisher's Lego.
Of course.
It happens.
Let's go.
Well,
We gotta
Good
go.
for you, dude.
Gotta go to Fisher Yappin to show it off full. We were just
Yeah, Fisher,
talking
can you
before we
count-
went live about how Fisher
were.
got
Fair.
this pointed
It's
out
still,
to him
still
once
not
and it
as
made
cool
his
as a
day.
Kingfisher Lego.
Can you tell
That's
us,
the coolest
Fisher,
Lego.
about the armaments that your Starship has? Like, what are the cannons rock? What's the gauge
Starship
on those
Fisher
things?
Prize.
What can that bad boy do?
It can shoot imaginary bullets. Like if I go pew pew pew, gotta say for the specific guns, I have no idea.
That's pretty
I don't know
good.
what they're called. Yeah, love Star Wars, but never figured out the specific names for every gun and manufacturer. So clearly, not a true Star Wars fan.
Fake
yet.
fan,
I'll
yeah.
get there. I'll get
Watch the Alkalite, obviously. You need to
there.
catch up on the lore.
That was
They-
good. I like that.
Yeah,
one.
because that show's coming
Wait,
back for
really?
season 2. And
I like the villain of it. Yeah.
I haven't watched it, to be fair, so I can't get too I can't put on my hater hat, but I've heard horrid things about it.
It was canceled
I
today,
did
so
not
it's not coming back for
understand
season 2.
All the hate it got.
Oh, it was
Like,
canceled.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
news
really?
as of I think either today or last night. But there's not going to be a season 2. So
I
They're
mean, it
not
wasn't,
doing a
like,
good job with all the
Mandalorian
series,
good,
man.
But it wasn't horrible.
They're just throwing whatever they can. Obi-Wan series was trash. They just keep messing up the lore. I'm not a big fan, personally. The lore at this point is
Late at
as mixed
Smite,
up as the Smite
the
lore
newest
itself.
Star Wars podcast coming to you.
Whoops. In a galaxy far,
Okay,
far
good
away.
news is
It's
we're on
fun
pace so
topic.
far. For every 5 minutes, we go off topic again. So honestly,
That's a
keep
good
it
one
up.
to hit.
It's a good.
We got something for everyone.
There is some hate coming through for the allegations of not liking the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, so I will allow you the floor to defend that, D'Lo.
Okay, all right, Book.
Ooh. And then I'm
Book.
gonna attack him.
Spirited
Book.
Book came through with a
I like it,
wow,
Book.
wow, wow.
I'm
D'Lo,
happy
what do you
for
mean?
you. I'm gonna let you finish, but Obi-Wan has the most stupid plot of all time. Okay, so we're supposed to imagine that retroactively Darth Vader, 1, didn't kill all the
I'm gonna check
younglings,
my email.
2, that her plan to get revenge on just Darth Vader is to join the Inquisitors, kill other Jedi, hunt them down for something they didn't even do wrong. That's her plan to get one person who she never even had hope with actually even taking on in the first place. The moment she tries to step up to Darth Vader, what happens? She gets smacked. She gets absolutely bodied. She got epic uppercutted by current Patch Kumarkarna, okay? Do not even walk up to me with a word of doubt about whether or not that show was good. The plot made no sense, all right? It was just stretched out for more Disney Plus content.
That's crazy.
I'm done.
That one character was bad. The rest of the show was great.
That was the crux of the plot. That was the crux of the plot. Is the entire? It hinges on this
Obi-Wan
huge
Watcher
retcon.
was focused on that plot. Everyone was focused on Obi-Wan, man.
That
That was
is-
like a side plot that is just completely derailed.
It is not a side plot. It is a B plot. All right, and
it was the plot for like half an episode.
half it. That was multi-episode. Either way, I'm tired of them retconning stuff. All right, I'm sick of it. The lore, I'd say, Smite's got better lore. Smite's got better lore. Yeah.
All right. Well, D'Lo's been canceled.
My camera just canceled me. Clearly,
We've said that Smite has better lore than Star Wars, which, like, look, I will defend the devs and the people who work at Hi-Rez nowadays like crazy because I know how hard they work. But let's be honest, a lot of the lore is really good, and some of it's a little chaotic when you include like the comic books and the stories that have come out. So that's a crazy statement. But I think I want to be chaotic and leave it on you saying Smite has better lore than Star Wars because that was insane. Quote it. Smite has better lore than Star Wars.
bingo.
Wow. So talking about Smite, Late at Smite is the name of this podcast, not
Whoops.
Late
Is
at
it?
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
We're in the cantina right now.
Smite
Let's get
2
turned.
comes out August 27th. The closed alpha begins. You need to have a Founders Pack purchased to play in it. Overall, by D'Lo. He's back.
I'm back.
Overall, are we excited? What are the excitement levels? I mean, I'm obviously incredibly biased, but I'm very curious where you guys are at, how you're feeling, your excitement levels in terms of playing and casting, really just kind of a general where you're at with it.
Fisher, I'll toss this one to you first, man. You're the one creating the literal almanac. You're writing the book on Smite 2, so what you got?
I am writing the book on Smite 2. I'm excited. I think it's gonna be cool. Despite casting it all the time, like this being my main game, like my main focus and stuff, I don't play a whole lot of Smite, so probably not as hyped for other people of the gameplay. I just like to watch and talk about it. But I think it's gonna be good. Like all the new items, I still find the item store confusing because I don't play other MOBAs. I was never like a League of Legends guy or anything like that, so I'm still getting used to the new items and the way that stuff works. But like seeing all the new graphics, all the new interactions, I think it's gonna be really good. Plus, just like sets a scene for the future. And there's enough like community hype now. I know like earlier on there was kind of like not some hate for it, but like skepticism, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It seems like that's pretty much died down right now and is just excitement for the most part. So I think that's really important. I think that's going to make it like a lot of fun to watch and cast.
Yeah, I'm definitely with that in a lot of the aspects of Fisher covered. More so as like the same thing. I like playing these games, but I more so enjoy the casting element of it for sure. So that's going to be fun. I also think that it's just nice to have a change of pace. The last competitive game that I played, not seriously, but I played it frequently, was Overwatch. And seeing, of course, how that sequel went, you might imagine that I'm quite tickled pink to have a sequel to actually care about adding new content aside just... Can you imagine if Smite just became like 6v6 instead? There's like, we're just going to add one new player. That's how we change things. But I'm glad that they're actually adding new content. That makes me happy, and it's good to see the devs really care. It's good to see, as well as what Fisher said, that negativity, that kind of dooming mindset start to fade away into the background just a little bit. And also just something new. Breath of fresh air. I'm also really excited to be able to know items. That's going to be cool. I'm notorious. If I'm doing my job well
Fresh
enough,
slate.
you guys should not know that I don't know items, but I don't know items. So now I'm going to know items. It's going to be sick. Avatars, Prashanth. Boom. Gives you power.
Pershanth?
Is that a real item?
Parsharth?
I think it
feel
was
like I should know
Avatar's
this.
Parashu? Was it Parashu? It was
Damn
definitely
it.
not Persharf.
Damn it.
Avatar's
That sounds like a
off.
character on
Really?
on like Fraggle Rock.
Fudge. Dang it.
Well-
Okay, well, I'm still learning. There's still a few more days, right? I got 4 more days.
Yeah, you got 4
You
more
got
days.
one of the 2 words.
You know, I will say,
50%, that's pretty good.
Fisher, I'm actually super excited you're doing the almanac. I was somebody who I read the long, like when I first started Smite casting, it was season 2, I think was my first cast, and I've been playing since season 1. But I read the Book of Thoth that was out at the time, which that was the almanac for Smite 1. I'm not sure if it ended up still being that. To be completely honest, I don't know if there's a new route people go, but that had your information of like what minions do, the inherent minion protections.
stack it up
that
fully,
was where,
Anthony?
Yeah, that was where people got that information exactly. So that there being one already from the community, kind of out the gate, is really cool for Smite 2. Because one of the things that other games tend to have that Smite lacks is those kind of community sourced things. You look at games like League and you see things like Blitz.gg, just a lot of the community resources that are there for Smite, or Rocket League, and looking at things like Bacchus Mod and Barrel. They're not a thing for Smite, but it's just people haven't made them. So I hope Smite 2 kind of reinvigorates that and gets more people doing stuff like Fisher mentioned with the Almanac. And also, Fisher and Dila, the point you made about items cracks me up, because that's kind of how I feel about the state of gameplay. Because I suck at current Smite. I don't play it at all, especially since I've been brought on to do Smite 2. I've kind of been prepping for Smite 2. So getting to kind of, from the ground up, be more prevalent with the game will be massive. And my excitement's through the roof. Like I said, I'm super biased. How could I not be? I'm excited to cast the game. I'm excited to go through once all the news comes out about esports, which I always recommend following Cooper and Hindu. They're always tweeting about the teasers and dates for when they're going to talk about news for Smite 2 esports. But I'm just excited. I agree with you guys on the community perception changing from being very doom and gloom for a bit to being more positive, because feedback is great. But for a while, it was like there was this portion of the community giving feedback and helping and kind of making sure to give strong feedback, but also trusting the process a little bit. And then there was this portion of the community that was just, wow, this game is so ugly, with their hands over their eyes. So it just kind of was a grind through that. But I think now we're at a point where I feel like a lot more people, given the most recent Dev Insight show and the next Patch Notes show, which, as of recording this, which is on August, I know the date today, August 20th? I hit it.
20th.
Bang! August 20th.
How about
It's
that?
on this Thursday, so just a couple days away, where we will actually see the patch notes for the closed alpha. I think it'll be in a really good spot. My only real fear with Smite 2 is people kind of having the patience on that launch day of floodgates open and ranks out, the Ascension system is out with the new masteries for gods and such. Just people saying, all right, there's a lot going on. Now don't just hate everything because it's new and it's overwhelming.
That's what you fear, bro? I fear the servers. That's what I'm worried about.
Well, I mean,
I'm not gonna
that's
get in
kind
the
of
game
like
for an hour.
folded into, yeah. They did do
Prepare
good,
for
though.
long
They
queue
did good on the
times.
alpha weekends. There
That's
was
true.
the
Honestly,
one where it was pretty bad, and
impressive.
Hi-Rez kind of addressed that, and they explained that they were using slow hard drives, essentially. But aside from that weekend, it was pretty decent performance server-wise.
Yeah.
I've also
expecting the
felt
same
like, I'm
thing.
curious what you guys think about this. I've thought that the Founders Packs being a requirement for the closed alpha has always made the Smite 2 closed alpha feel like a family gathering of, all right, let's test it out as a group.
Yeah,
Family gathering? I gotta pay $30 to enter it.
Wait, you
My
didn't
family's gonna charge me
I was gonna say,
$30
you didn't
to get
pay
in
to
the
get into your
barbecue?
family reunion? Does my family just hate me?
I guess I don't know what to tell you, bro. Either your gaming family hates you or your real family hates you. Either way, someone's getting schemed here. True, I suppose. I don't know, Fisher. You take this one before I start another rant. I can't take it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind that it's like behind the founder pack. Obviously, sucks for like people that don't want to buy it or like don't like spending money on video games, because I'm probably sure like there's a big amount of people that play Smite because it's free. But I think like in the alpha at least, it makes sure it's like people that care about the game, people that want to be there. I think it definitely makes a better environment where like they can test out more stuff. The player base is going to be a little more forgiving, or maybe not because they paid $30 and they want to see it work perfectly from day one, which just ain't gonna happen. But it's definitely cool. Yeah, I like the way they're doing it. I normally don't play alphas and stuff. This is the first one I've ever done, so yeah, definitely excited about the way stuff's going so far.
I think you make a good point there about like the fact that it does, by putting it behind a paywall, there's some merit behind it, because the new players that would potentially be driven off by the fact that it's not a finished game quite yet, they're not going to enter and be scared off. So in that sense, I do get it. But like you also said, you'd think that the players that have known and loved this game forever are going to be more forgiving of it. But it's the same people who are going to be instantly taking to Twitter to release some long twit longer about how Smite just ain't the same. I miss the old Smite, straight off the road Smite. But I think overall, I'll pay $30 to play Ymir. I like Ymir. Ymir is here.
$30 to play Ymir. I'll play $30 for an ice wall right now. You just became super southern for that. Ymir has always given me trucker vibes.
They haven't made a skin yet for that. That's Bacchus's whole routine. That's his shtick. Maybe he'll give him a skin for it.
Stick, but I think Bacchus is like the stereotypical trucker, but Ymir is like the cool trucker. Like when your kid puts their hands at the window and it's like, honk your horn. Bacchus doesn't do it. Ymir,
Bacchus swerves and hits the kid and gets a DUI.
But, okay. I wasn't gonna say Bacchus ran over the kid with his truck, but we can go that route.
Do you think the god of intoxication is going to be doing anything different? He shouldn't be behind a truck in the first place. Who let that man behind a wheel?
How did he get his
away
CDL?
Years ago. Well, I'm just looking to see. I'm not looking to get a CDL. I'm looking to get his BHC. What's he got there?
Bacchus took his CDL test playing Smite car.
It did not go well for him. iRacing, he is not.
So more about Smite 2, though. One thing I mentioned, too, is that esports news is around the corner. I'm curious. Obviously, this is a topic I got to be a little bit light on, because, I'm not going to pretend I don't know stuff for the sake of the conversation. But I'm curious what you guys would like to see. Like, what are things you're hoping for, be it things about the formatting, brackets, things you're hoping for in terms of timelines, in terms of even what you might see in, say, like the Founder Series LAN in Vegas. Like, what are some stuff you guys are looking forward to with that?
We got fish.
Oh, okay. There you go. I'm getting to go first all the time.
The pass.
Yeah, exactly. Gotta hit it with the assist. I'm just like, really, I want to see consistency. I don't care too much. Like, if the format's league play versus tournaments, I normally like league play and stuff better. I think it's more exciting to see teams, like, kind of go throughout a course of a season, stuff like that, see them change, like, see how they kind of meld together versus where in tournaments, it's pretty short. One mistake ruins your whole thing. It's not the same in long league formats. But as long as it's consistent, I don't want to see a pro scene that's just changing all the time, like they're throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks. As long as they can pick some format and find a way to make it work, I'll be happy. Stability in a pro scene, very, very important, and especially for SMITE 2, since this is such like a big thing for the MOBA, definitely like need to find something that'll stick for a while and get people excited.
I think what I'm most looking forward to and what I most just want to make sure is fulfilled is this promise of build path variety. And like, to be fair, I don't know the name of avatars.
Pantyhose.
I don't know the name of that item, so I can't really say whether or not it
Avatar's
actually will come to pass. I learn more. And Avatar's pantyhose. That is the Legend of Korra spinoff we have not quite gotten just yet, and hopefully will not see the light of day. Anywho. I'm looking to see build path variety. And, that's what's promised to us, but it's like Elden Ring. You can decide to do something that's not summons, but why aren't you doing something that's summons? You might as well, if you want to actually win the fight, you want to actually progress in the game. Will it be the same thing with Smite 2? I have hopes that it's going to be actually some good flexibility there, but that's what I want to see. It's clearly what they're aiming for. They just got to deliver on that promise.
So kind of flexibility for builds from D-Low is the overarching. And for Fisher, from you, it's like stability and having kind of a back-to-back each week. So out of that, like, what's the thing that for you guys would make you actively want to, aside from me on Smite game, of course, what's the thing that would make you guys actively want to turn on like Smite esports and sit and watch it? Like, is it roster makeups of teams that you enjoy? Is it storylines from it? Is it just kind of seeing the competitive play, seeing competitive matches? Is it seeing people you might recognize from the amateur scene? I'm genuinely curious. And Deal, you have to answer first this time. You can't keep passing.
Yeah, no, that's valid. Seeing like I'm always get super excited when I see like, and now that I'm starting to learn more names, of course, it's always exciting to see some good old amateur peeps rising up into the higher brackets, into the higher echelons of competitive play. So that certainly would be exciting. As far as just what I'm looking forward to, like I said before with like my introduction, I've never been super plugged into the competitive scene in itself. I think naturally I'm going to be a lot more drawn to it just because I'm more invested in the scene itself. But I think doing more things for us lowly peons down here in the bottom, just throw us some bread and circus, you know? Make sure the amateur people are getting some love, make sure that they're getting their flowers, and I'll be a happy camper.
Yeah, that makes sense. Just kind of build up the grassroots. I mean, you and I, D'Lo, Fisher as well, we all cast a lot of Rocket League. That's got to be one of the strongest grassroots scenes that you can possibly find.
Yes.
So it's a kind of
very
a
well
perfect
supported
example of what to look at, what to go for. But Fisher, that leaves room for your take, my friend, and I'm curious because Fisher, you're a bit more complicated of a man to lock down for entertainment on the weekends. I know from all my ignored dates.
Yeah, no, I'm not a huge live stream watcher. Kind of like, yeah, I just don't like. I cast in so many leagues and stuff, and there is like a ton to keep up with. I'm normally someone that likes getting out and doing stuff. I don't always like sit down for an hour to watch full matches and stuff like that. So I think for me, it'd just have to be like excitement, right? I'm not necessarily looking for like specific team comps, specific metas, just stuff that keeps you watching. Because I feel like in esports particularly, there are so many like tournaments and stuff that just make no sense. It's like, why am I watching this? What am I cheering for? Like, what's the purpose of this happening? I want there to be like some weight to this stuff. Like if they do seasons, have it matter in a postseason. Make sure tournaments like have the right level of hype, the right level of marketing around them. Like just make me want to watch it. I think as Barada is saying, and to be fair, I think that's something Smite does very well. That's like the only esports scene besides Rainbow Six Siege that I've ever like wanted to become involved with, wanted to watch, wanted to keep up with. I thought they did it pretty good in Smite 1, and I really want to see them continue that in Smite 2, because obviously then it makes it more exciting for us to cast too.
It's all stuff I'm on board with because you know, like obviously I haven't been casting Smite 2 long because Smite 2 is not out yet. So from the perspective of kind of, you know, before and what I was hoping for was a lot of the same things. I think the biggest one for me was sort of a return to the form. SPL always had this like grandiose feeling to it. You know, I watch a lot of esports. I watch a big kind of wide range, including games I don't play. Like I watch a lot of League of Legends esports. I'm big time into LEC, almost more so than LCS, despite Flowers being the GOAT. I just kind of feel like old SPL had this vibe, you know, where you turn on a Saturday game and you'd have the Hindu F. Anatoly Adonis vibe to it, where it just kind of had this different feel. It felt large in scope, and I think in the Mixer days it also felt bigger in scope than some people realized. Then you had sort of the weirdness with COVID go on, where you know everybody went remote. It wasn't just a Smite thing, obviously, but it just sort of it tinkered with the recipe a bit too much for me. And I feel like towards with the J Dragons Worlds storyline and the casting performance from Gormizer and Trelly at Worlds and so on, I think a lot of that magic was finding its way back. And I feel like we ended Smite 1 Esports. I know a lot of people wanted to see another season. I think it ended at a really, really big high. And, you know, it's Smite 2 coming around the corner. You've got Dolson back for it too, which is really exciting. I think there's a chance, even with it being a lot of, you know, I myself, I'll be casting remote. I think there'll still be a big scope, a big game feel, especially early on, with it just being the new playground of Smite 2. And I think that's what gets me the most excited for sure.
You mentioned scope, and I think that's a really good point, and that's something that's just kind of like touched on an itch that I didn't realize I had. But I was doing some like just research a while back into like competitive scene, and it reminded me of like the one time that I really was plugged in the competitive scene, which was when it was peak AGL underneath MLC Stealth and Weaken. And what I remember was actually genuinely exciting about that to me was the scope, because it was EU versus NA, which region's better. And I think we lost some of that grandiosity when we made everything smaller, which made sense for the time, of course. Like, we can't get in the minds of the suits and ties behind high-risk decisions there. We're not the ones that are seeing the bank accounts
and they're not
checks.
the only game that did that. You can look at games like
Absolutely
or
not.
leagues like LCS, for sure.
Yes. But if you, just think about energy, you think about luminosity, these are, multi-game organizations that span across all of competitive esports, and it made Smite feel connected to the greater web, and it gave it that we're a piece of this larger competitive esports puzzle. And you could argue that it's kind of cool that they isolated themselves, they made Smite its more community tight-knit thing. Personally, I think a bit of that large-scale feeling, a bit of that aura, that shock and awe was lost. So I actually also hope to see that to some extent. I want that kind of grand scale feeling where it's the world versus the world. It's region versus region battling for supremacy. It's not just 5v5 here. There's more at stake. That's what I want.
Yeah, I'm with that too. Orgs are a complicated mess. I could go on for so long about my feelings in orgs and esports in general, not just Smite, because esports, like traditional sports, Fisher and I are huge baseball guys. D'Lo, I know you're a big basketball guy. We got crossover here and there. But those teams make revenue from the sport. When the sport is making money, the teams are making money. In esports of any game, this isn't a Smite specific thing, the revenue is the game's revenue. You mentioned luminosity. Even looking at a team that's been winning, that won all the Smite 2 tournaments so far, Cowabunga, they're not getting game revenue. And they probably won't in any esport ever, because that would involve, the developer committing their funds that they're making from their game and their skins and their whatever to teams, which has just never been a thing. There's been attempts. There were walkouts. There have been owners taking buyouts. We keep bringing up League because it's, the big example, but there's been walkouts over this exact thing. So I think, the orgs discussion and the regions discussion are two big ones, but I'm 150% on board with the regions thing. I think that felt so special. And even if you go back, you mentioned the Allegiance Worlds, which, by the way, had a Team Allegiance t-shirt. Team Allegiance. So right there with you. You go back in time to those eras of Smite esports, and you had teams like Lich Esports showing up from LATAM and destroying Team Allegiance. And you had those moments that we haven't had in so long. I mean, the closest thing that we got was the Solar Scarabs with Deathwalker, and shout out, the Rat Milk Tegveer Happen Squad, the Shabala Storm, making Rat Milk a name during the World's play-ins. That's the closest we've gotten in recent memory to me.
Hopefully we get those glory days back, man. I want them back. Bring them back.
I'm hopeful. Call me glass half full for sure. That kind of, that really does set us up perfect. I mean, D'Lo, you kind of already said yours. You said your favorite sort of time period of Smite esports, that season 3-ish era of Luminosity and NRG. Also have a Luminosity Ally jersey as well. So you got me thinking through my closet now. The Fisher, what's your go-to season?
For Smite?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Just making sure.
No, for StarCraft, I was thinking.
Okay, see, that's what I thought.
I was thinking Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
Ah, shoot.
2004 animated series.
It was probably I can't forget. I think it was season 8, the first season where they ditched the orgs, right? Not necessarily because they ditched the orgs, but just the excitement level for that one was so high. And keep in mind, I've really only been watching since season 7, because I started playing right at the end of season 6, so my time range definitely isn't as big. There have probably been better seasons. I just wouldn't know it. But I'm gonna keep calling it season 8.
Please do. No, you're good. You're good.
There was so much hype around it. All the teams were so much fun to watch. I think Jade Dragons and Solar Scarabs in particular for me. The Dragons, this super powerhouse team. Everyone was expecting to just run the league, and the Scarabs, who so many people thought just shouldn't be in the league, but managed to hang on. I thought that era was a lot of fun to watch through. And I feel like the teams have better storylines. In recent seasons, maybe it's just because I haven't watched as much as I did back in season 8, but stuff felt like a little more muted. Like most of the team changes and stuff kind of flew under the radar. Versus back then, there was a lot of hype to it. There was a lot of excitement, and some of that could have been just because they were introducing like the new franchises. I don't know what to call it. Like just all the stuff around that and all the changes that were happening. But that one was definitely the most exciting for me. I think that was about some peak Smite gameplay.
A lot of interesting casting too in Season 8. If you kind of go through, there was a lot of changing of the guard of who the casting team was for SPL. A lot of new faces, old faces kind of being mixed within. You had a lot of sort of iconic moments appear, which, you know, I'm a sucker for casting in any esport, but Smite, obviously, it's a soft spot. So that was a great one. D'Lo, you and I share Season 3 kind of being our go-to. That was the I did watch. I haven't missed a Worlds, and I did watch the launch tournament, but Season 3 just, it kind of hit. I had a watch party with a few of my friends. I also was, like, we had a watch party on Discord. Me, my friend Scott, my friend Derek, and my girlfriend Victoria all were watching Season 3 Worlds. And the play of Variety and Captain Twig attempting to end the game, iRaffer and Emilito defending with Adonis into an acro, just losing it at the double executes, the Chronos and the Kepri revives. That whole set, but that moment just is this sort of lock in my brain that was like okay, so Smite's fucking sick. You know? That was my sort of lock-in moment. That was definitely my I want to do that moment with Smite in particular too. So I'm right there with you on Season 3. But also, since you mentioned it, Luminosity and the Izanami mid,
well,
you know.
What I think of, I don't know if this was Season 3. I think it was during a fall split. It was not even the casters that got me so hyped, but a moment that will always stick in my mind is it was AGL. It was after Weekend and MLC Stealth had completely redrafted the team from scratch.
I had to dyslexia.
Sorry. Yes.
That's my
wrong
shtick.
league. That's ALG. You had Weekend, Polar Bear Mike. You had, who was it with them? NLC Stealth.
Yeah.
And then you had, was it Barracuda?
No, it would have been
with them?
I think their ADC was Cyclone Spin.
No, it wasn't. Cyclone was solo. Cyclone was solo.
You're right. Cyclone
but they
was
had a different.
solo.
I don't remember who their carry was. But the moment that I remember was
Devotions?
they were going up against EU. They were going against Luminosity to kick out EU from the game. And Polar Bear Mike at the very end, they're looking for the end call. They go to player comms, and Polar Bear Mike's going, EU sucks, baby, let's go!
Oh,
and then he just goes, let's fucking go! And then, like, of course, Adonis is like, Polar Bear Mike feeling some kind of way about that. Because, like, how do you respond to, like, the fact that they just, like, blasted curse words? I'm curious. We know we've got players here in the chat right now. Would y'all agree to not use bad words and just like forego the potty mouth if it meant that we could dip into your guys' comms for a bit? I don't know how the technicalities of that work.
While we wait for a response from that, I will say, I was watching the COD Champs, and they put the players, like, COD Champs is full sending. CDL puts the players on stage across from each other, looking at each other, and they lock a cage on the stage. So the two teams can see each other, face each other, hear each other, and they're locked in. Some of the shit talk that was getting picked up on these microphones was otherworldly. I mean, we have not a Valve game saying no, that they wouldn't do it.
A plain-spoken man.
Yeah,
a plain-spoken man with a plain-spoken response.
I totally get it. It's so insane to fully.
I want it though.
down.
It would be so much fun. Like, I would love for us to, I don't know, find some healthy medium ground where, okay, you can talk shit, but just a little bit of shit.
Just a little
and
bit.
then we can have our player comms. That being said, obviously it's a production issue as well. I'm sure it's immensely difficult to just hop in the Discord, but we'll get Tess running on that. Tess, you got it. You can do anything, Tess.
I think Tess is actually running OSL production right now, so it's just kind of a doubly funny call out. Like, while you're working, get ready to work some more. You know,
Grind will stop.
You mentioned OSL earlier. You did talk about AGL. Before we get into our main game, no boring podcast ad reads today. Just kind of a Smite reminder with Smite 2 around the corner and a lot of seasons wrapping up. If you are not in amateur leagues, if you want to cast, if you want to play, if you want to get into administration, the amateur leagues should really be your go-to spot. There's a lot of different leagues you can go to. There still is a Smite amateur esports website, but you're going to see a lot more pop up, especially with Smite 2 around the corner. There's a lot to name, a lot to vouch for. OSL, AGL, always fun places to start as two of the bigger ones. You got new ones coming up, Tanuki Smite League, and older like Smite Night League for EU folk. There's so many, too many to name, but just make sure you are in those. But guys, we're here for a particular reason, my friends. We have a game today. We're playing a game. I'm so excited. So I have been.
Oh, hey, Mr. Screen.
Yeah, Mr. Screen.
Hello.
Mr. Screen is coming.
Oh, he's shy.
We only we could see Mr. Screen. So.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
It's okay. It's okay.
Great timing.
We got Mr. Screen here. We got our names. Today we're going to be drafting our all-time SPL rosters. Now, I'll explain how we're doing it. The ground expectation I'd like to set is D'Lo and Fisher are going to have some whack-ass teams.
No, I'm going to have the best team.
I'm saying it now. You guys can hate me for it if you want.
I'm going to have the best team. My team's going to wipe the floor with you,
You can pretend I'm wrong, but when we get there, just a little bit of patience and respect and let them air their minds, and then we bash. But we got to start.
I dare you peons to come at me in the chat.
We have to start by spinning. We're going to do this as a snake draft. We're just going to draft 5 players per team. So whoever gets first pick, you get to pick any player you want that's played in SPL, SCC, heck, amateur leagues if you want to get totally nuts. And if you have you can also pick where you'd like to go. So if it lands on D'Lo first, if you want to pick third, so then you pick third and fourth, you can do that. And we'll have that on screen too. So if you're watching the video side of this, you can actually see and follow along with the team. So we'll make sure we read them out to you. So, Mr. Screen, take us away. Who's going to win out and be able to decide where they're going first?
Y'all are so
Is this rigged? Is this rigged? Is this rigged? It's so rigged!
Gosh.
I hate you.
It is so rigged. I'm
Unreal.
absolutely
so
taking first overall pick.
Get this guy out.
Okay.
Not
Yeah,
even a
someone
question
ban
in my brain.
So
Remove
are
me
we
from the
spinning to see?
equation. So now we're seeing.
Yeah, we're spinning to see order right now.
Yeah, who's taking their choice of spot next between D'Lo and Fisher. And it looks like it's going to be D'Lo. So D'Lo, would you like to go
set up for
second,
failure.
or would you like the snake round third and fourth?
I'll take 2. Yeah, I'll be nice. I'll be the ham in the sandwich.
This wheel's just biased
And
towards
now we
chair
spin.
ones. It's not even gonna land on me, dude. It's gonna land on like a blank space.
Guys, you guys can't see it, but it's this spinning animation.
Mr. Screen will be picking for Kingfisher. So
They
Fisher, I
can't
think
see
that does it for you.
Okay,
Thanks for joining us.
I think I'm gonna go smart. I'll take third here. I'll take the back end of the snake.
It's a really good call. It's a
This guy's smart.
really good call.
guy-
a lot of
this guy knows what
options.
he's
A lot of
doing.
options.
So now we go to the game screen.
So, but everyone's
right.
gonna see how little game knowledge I have.
No. We're about to cook Anthony right now. Anthony's team is not even making it past first round. They're going to surrender. They're going to FF to my team.
So
We ju-
anyway,
we just
I'm picking
collude with each
Paul.
other to make the picks.
That's my number
Paul's
one.
better.
That's my
Paul
number
is
one.
better.
Paul is better. I'm absolutely picking Paul, number 1 overall. There's not a question in my brain. Zero hesitation. I'm not playing any games. It'll take a second for the show, but Paul is my number 1 overall. So yeah, not even.
All number 1 overall. It rhymes too. It's meant to be.
It is.
All
While I
right.
get that pulled up, D'Lo, you can go ahead and make your selection.
Anthony, just like the sheep I expected, he's fallen right into my pen, and now he's a lamb to the slaughter. This is too obvious. 667, number 1
I knew
weekend.
it.
We're doing the world.
I knew it. I called this. I knew you were going to do this.
Weekend gank solo. Weekend number 1.
Oh my god.
Are you kidding me? You left me my best pick? Are you a fool?
Your best
Athena
pick. Did
Jungle?
you just say
Yeah. Ridiculous. Bro.
okay?
How many Lambos do you own?
He owns Corvettes.
We can own like at least one.
He owns Corvettes.
Damn it. I don't know cards.
Fisher, you're up.
Hey,
Ooh,
to be fair, I didn't even say what jungle he could have. He might be playing support. You don't know.
Okay, I
These guys-
got 2 picks here. All right. So first off, gotta go with the GOAT, the 3-peat. Give me Zat, man.
Okay.
For all the
I will
for all
not
the
give
hate Zat
Fisher
can
shit
get
for
as an
that.
ADC. That is most consistent, like best, like veteran type leadership you can get.
You guys are fools.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Throw a weekend in the jungle against adapting, baby. Number 2 pick.
Oh, okay. You're cooking.
Yeah.
You're actually cooking. Did you prep with Zetan?
No, I wrote these names
Yes,
down
he did.
5 minutes
He
ago.
totally
and all-
freaking did.
Adapting is the only jungler I have written down. I don't even know any other junglers.
Other than weekend. My jungle clears
Oh, yeah.
yours so easily, dude.
Okay.
Nah,
I'm
dude,
getting-
my
I'm
draft
getting
is
caught
set.
up.
I'm gonna have such a good
I
draft.
think did I do this
Nobody's
right? I think
gonna
I
be
did
able
that
to
right.
say anything until pick 15 when I screw it all up.
Nah, you'll be
I
fine.
will say
I'm gonna take. I promise you, I'm taking way more heat for this
You-
than you ever will.
You absolutely cooked. I do have to say.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't think those numbers were supposed to be there. You absolutely cooked, Fisher. You have a banging roster so far. I gotta say, adapting
After 2
adapting was
picks,
close to being
yeah.
my number one. His picks and duos are in the same column.
just-
Got it. Thank you.
Just FYI, you on your little bottom left there, you didn't double up your name.
I
That
didn't
might
double
screw
up
up
my
the
name.
order later. Yeah, you're 6 and 7.
I'm 6 and 7.
Oh, you silly Billy.
Yeah.
And then
I was gonna say-
D'Lo would be 8, and you'd be 9 and 10, right?
Yeah. I just want to make sure I didn't get screwed up. I'm not trying to lose any picks.
No,
here.
that's why it's on screen, so I'm not doing this alone.
Anthony really is rigging this, huh?
I also am dyslexic.
crazy.
I know I'm bringing it against myself.
You've
All right,
done
D'Lo,
to
that brings you
yourself.
back up at pick number 5.
Ah, excellent. Okay, so I'm always one for giving people second chances, but I'm also a big advocate for giving people third chances. This time, buddy, you won't get traded away in this team. In con support.
Oh my
Let's go.
God! What is this team?
Bring him back. We're gonna all get the band back together. Get in the van, stupid. We're playing Smite 2.
I'm actually a little bit upset. Like my body temperature is rising.
I think that would be how these two players would feel if they actually saw this. I'm what can I say? I'm a big fan of get back togethers. When the Beatles reunite. What better moment is there than that? Same thing with old AGL or ALG. Dear sweet Jesus.
We didn't mention this
So,
because I got distracted, but this is important to mention. All players, we're kind of assuming they're in their prime. So you're getting prime adapting. You're getting prime Paul. So just waking up in the morning,
Anytime,
Paul.
Yeah.
But they're prime within their sense of skill. So there's no elevating somebody. Like earlier, I used the example of Game Hunter. Game Hunter is, has the first pentakill for competitive, but fine, okay, different game, different play styles, different knowledge of the game. So keep that stuff in mind. That does bring me up though. So I am going to go. So I will say a couple of my picks got taken. I honestly wasn't expecting anyone to grab adapting. I thought you guys would overlook the king. I don't know why I thought that. You have weekend and incon, so you don't get to
thought of
judge that I
adapting.
thought that.
All right, that's like
guy
bottom
who
of the
picks
bin. though.
weakest
I
says,
did
"Oh,
unironically think of adapting. So the fact that you expected us to miss him is ridiculous.
I'm going
anyway, carry
Emilito
on,
with my
go
number
on,
6
go on.
pick for ADC.
Whoa.
Yeah, so
thought there
maybe
was gonna be
I don't
another
think this
80s.
is a hot take. Emilito to me was one of the most out of control ADCs, season 2, season 3. You just kind of can't deny it. And then even just the God pool as well, because there's sort of the famous thing of the Emilito Chronos having to be such a target ban during season 3. But Emilito had a God Ocean. If you go back to regular season games, Emilito was pulling out things like the Ho Yi, the Jing Wei, which was super meta at the time, and everything looked good. And then you'd even get games where you would see Emilito play Cupid or on her, and it would perform just as well. So for me, I wanted somebody stable. I've got my hyper carry, my GOAT in the mid lane. Now I've got a solid ADC who just will play around strengths. And, speaking of solid playing around strengths, but also speaking of GOATs, and this one I'm prepared to be contested. There's a couple options left for solo. I am going to go with pick number 7 in my solo lane. I'm going to go Deathwalker.
Oh.
Or
didn't
Banco if you've been
expect
watching Smite 2 competitive.
It's not a bad pick. I thought you were gonna pick Emilito's partner there.
Yeah, I did think
strategize
about it. I did
I got
consider
confused. I got confused because that's almost your girlfriend's Discord tag. I was like, wait, what? She plays?
that. Yeah,
just
SPL
I'm putting
level?
Victoria in the
Goddamn.
solo lane, dude. She's gonna go.
Let's go.
absolutely
Come on,
insane.
Vic. Kick some ass. Well, not going to kick ass against my pick, though, because I'm locking in to slot in up against Victoria. We've got my man, Dust. Let's go.
Did you say Dust?
Dust. I know that he considers himself a player above the majority. He considers himself above the majority of people in general, he said. All right, I'm not going to lie. Okay, my tech guys, I'm not going to lie, is I looked up Smite drama top 10 moments.
Did you say Dust?
I'm cherry picking folks from that, so
It's absolutely.
I'm not going to
He has
cap to.
Team Tilt on lock.
Oh my god.
I have to type this in. What?
Victoria's saying I'll take
What is
Dust
was Dust mid? What?
No, Dust was solo.
Dust was solo. Duster.
Dust about to dust
you
the
know you had a
competition. Not about
hot
to bite
take
the
when
dust.
when Glacier in chat drops an ah ha 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 ha, and April's talking about the voices. You broke everybody with that. It's insane.
My team's broken. What can I say?
Broken
Y'all are
mentals.
washed.
Anyway, Fisher, pick
Yeah,
number
that's
9 and number 10. You are up.
Okay, so I'm thinking like with all my brain cells here, I'm gonna leave solo for last, just because you two already took yours.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be smart here.
Smart.
I'm gonna take my support first. Give me genetics, baby.
Good take.
Past few seasons, genetics has been a monster.
You
Like,
got.
there are
You're
so
building
many
a
good
team of
support
villains.
stuff
I will
years,
say
but
that.
unreal. And then here, this is the dude I was gonna go with pick 15, but now the solo laners are free. I just gotta say, the most underrated mid laner of all time, my goat. Give me Baronic in the mid lane.
Ooh, that
Love
actually is good.
Boronic, or wasn't it
Best
Elboronic?
Giannis of Baronic, yeah, best Giannis of all time. Freaking love Baronic. Great mid laner.
This is crazy. This is gonna. I hope you guys have your Twitter notifications like popping up on your phone because you might get some after this.
I'm not even signed into Twitter.
That's probably for the
Oh,
best, my friend.
boy.
Okay, so Fisher. So this goes
Oh, yeah.
D-Lo and then me twice, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
That is how Snake
So
Draft's
D-Lo,
work.
you would be up. D-Lo should pick Obi-Wan ADC.
I already have my next player. Oh, actually, no, that wouldn't vibe well with the synergy.
There's
It's
no.
actually a
I was
tough
gonna say there's
decision
no
now.
way you don't have these picks pre-made if you've got Dust, Weekend, and Incon. Well, I mean,
Well, like
if you didn't already have your solo picked, I'd be expecting you to put fucking Matty Pocket there.
I do like Matty Pocket. He's pretty cool.
How you doing this to us on the
Ooh.
first episode, D'Lo? What the heck, dude?
I'm really trying to think actually now. I'm actually like kind of thinking a bit hard about this.
Do you need me to DM you some players that played those roles? You good?
I was going to pick. All right, I'm gonna confess
He's
something to
going
you.
to
I
the
was gonna
amateur
pick.
leagues.
I'm like thinking about it because I was going to pick Jake and Solo or Troll so I could just keep like the bands getting back together. But then I realized that those roles are already fulfilled, so I can't quite do that unfortunately.
Just throw them in an off roll. You can-
Yeah,
you got- okay,
yeah,
I'll do it.
Z10 ADC.
I've-
Go. Z10 ADC.
Okay, dude.
I'm not taking Panda Cat?
I'm taking Z10 ADC.
Can I say something? I don't want to give D'Lo any help, Fisher. He fucking named a mid laner already tonight, and he hasn't picked them.
Oh yeah, MLC stealth. I don't want that. That's not fun.
He
thought
was
you were
on
like-
those teams.
Yeah, I know. I want as
He was
much
okay.
drama as possible. I want as
He
much
was in
drama as
the
possible, and that's
drama.
already been rehashed. So
It's just
keep those
that's
two
crazy.
in there,
Stealth
and then we'll
and
add
Yammer
in.
are
I
gonna
want
go
to add in
unpicked
new
in the
elements
win.
to like
It's
make
crazy.
new telenovela plots. I want like 7 seasons of like just more content that I can make here, and I feel like that's already been rehashed. So MLC stealth, you can take the day off, buddy. Next.
I mean, if you just want to lose, all right.
We're gonna lose in style. We're gonna lose with making some clips.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Anthony, I need you to mess up your draft at least a little bit here so I have a chance.
Well, see, I was
You
gonna
have
let
no
people.
chance.
I was gonna let people
I have
kind
Z10
of
on my
vote
team.
on it and give their thoughts, and now I'm just kind of sitting here
If you
thinking
don't take
like,
rat milk, you're disingenuous.
That's actually kind of true.
I'm okay. I ain't no. There is no bigger truther. I bet all of my Smite game channel points on Shabala Storm, and they won in the game I was able to watch and vote on. So in my brain, there is no bigger Shabala Storm fan ever. I also was there. I cast in the slums with you. I cast the 20+ kill Thanatos rat milks of
Oh my
the world.
gosh. That was insane.
So I will.
Wait, also,
I'll
I have a
apologize.
very important caveat. Whenever we're naming our teams, because we have to name the teams, are we coming up with names or are we doing a draft of all the Smite team names? This is
Ooh, we
very
should definitely come
important.
up with our own.
Yeah, I think come up with names.
We should
Okay.
definitely come up with our own team names. I'm 100% with that. Okay. I'm digging in my brain. I've got a few I want to go. I'm going to go. I know. I'm with you. I'm with you, chat. Mention of no PBM. I don't want to give away takes, but
Oh!
I don't want to give away takes.
I was considering him, but obviously Incon was better for my synergy.
Was he? I
Yes,
kind of hate.
for my
It's
goals.
sort of awesome that Dead Girl Walking, who is my girlfriend, is in my brain and just saying my draft picks before I pick them. So Victoria's
So
a
there you
fucking
go.
Smite knower. So I'll just go ahead and put PBM.
That's a good pick.
She's still
That's a good pick.
she's still not beating Dust. I don't care how much of a Smite knower she is. You ain't beating Dust.
Jungle is
Okay.
kind of the
That's-
one I've been back and forth on the absolute most. Also, Iraffer was a
So
close
happy
mention
that I
for
took
me,
your pick.
but my thing with
I thought you were
Iraffer,
gonna take him with Emil.
my thing with well, I did think about that, but my thing with Iraffer is Iraffer did continue to play a lot of SPL. So if we're kind of taking the mindset of like you get them in their prime, but we're not sort of scaling up, Iraffer did kind of have some objective fall off in terms of performance in the pro scene. So that's kind of my my big holdup there. And then for jungle, I'm going Lasbra.
Lasbra. Okay. I thought you were taking Sam.
It was on my brain, but
That's not bad.
no baby Twig. Yeah, who's taking Twig's baby? Real
I'll take
quick,
Weekend's baby before I
let's catch
take
up with
Twig's
chat
baby.
before we head to our next picks here. How did my guy get Deathwalker, Paul, and Emilito on the same team? Thank you for the support. That's my...
We've never heard of him.
I don't want to hear it from fake Shapalo Storm fans. Only the real ones remember the Brendan Bolt Storm split. Okay, that's fair. That is absolutely fair. Madam Malum the GOAT. No arguments here. All right, D'Lo and Fisher. Time to round us out and finish your teams. And D'Lo, I am...
I don't even know what deal.
we could switch D'Lo and Fisher, and it would not matter for these last picks. I'm
having a lot of
100%
fun right now.
convinced.
I'm having a lot of fun right now. I don't know about you guys.
I'm not trolling. What do you mean? I'm picking
No, that's
smart.
what I'm saying. Like,
Don't
D'Lo already
compare me
has
to
his
this.
solo, but we don't. Who knows what the hell
Yeah,
he's gonna
no.
pick for his mid?
I know I'm gonna pick for my mid. I
There's
think
still
this
two
player.
great mid laners that you're just not taking.
No, because I already have a better mid laner. You see, this player so good that I'm going to double dip for my mid. I'm picking Z Tantalus again. Bring a fun squad.
Is he allowed to do? You don't even take me
I
for
am.
mid lane, dude. I
Nope.
was nasty with Giannis.
You're
in mid
washed.
lane.
Get
I'm
out of here.
offended.
Z Tantalus
But
a
it's in my
second
prime.
time.
It's in my prime. It doesn't
Put him
matter
in.
that
I
I'm
don't.
washed.
Nope. Z-Tan.
Wow.
I want to
okay.
see those
You're dead
pentas
to
on
me.
Cupid.
So,
Cupid mid.
do you want Z-Tan in mid and Z-Tantalus in ADC?
There you go, two different
Yes.
players. Two different
That's what we'll go
heroes.
with. Z-Tan and what's it? Beast and back shots in mid, and then Z-Tantalus in DC.
Beads and back shots in the mid lane. That
For,
guy's
for,
crazy.
for reference, everyone, that's Z-Tan. That's an alt account.
Oh, and now he's been exposed too, dude. This is a bad day to be Z-Tan. He's on the
Great day
craziest
to be
Smite
Z10.
team
He
in
got picked
history.
twice in the top 15 players. in
That's
Smite
true,
history.
actually.
This is a
D'Lo's-
great day to be Z10.
D'Lo, your Smite knowledge is showing. Zip it up. Anyway,
I'm doing
Kingfisher, pick number 15. Hopefully an SPL player, or at least
It is.
SCC.
It is. I'm between two right now. There are two.
Yeah,
I like really.
There's
lot.
two really good options that I was back and forth from all day
gonna-
thinking about.
I'm gonna name mine. I want you to tell me if I got one of them.
Yeah,
I'm between Final K and Benji.
we agreed on Benji. I was leaning Variety over Fine OK.
Okay, I think I'm leaning. I think I'm
Leeching.
leaning. I
I
think
think
I'm
I'm
leaning Benji regardless. Kukulin E United Benji, top of Smite gameplay. I gotta go with that.
Benji.
I'm a huge Final K fan. Like the variety.
Benjo.
No, well the variety, not the player of gods that he has is fantastic. But give me Benjo. Give me the banjo.
Give you
in
the
solo
banjo.
lane.
All right.
Yaman and Stealth didn't get picked in mid lane. That's actually crazy.
Well, we got our team.
I could have. To be, I could have. I just decided a better path.
I wanted Baronic.
All right. I mean, do we start elephant in the room and talk about what the fuck D'Lo strapped?
I mean, it's a race for first place.
context of those
It's
listening,
like-
is Z10. We mentioned in the beginning. We mentioned SDL, which is an amateur league the three of us met in, where Z10 had the first pentakill there and did play mid and ADC in those
Yeah.
roles. Do you?
He's great.
Hypothetically,
I love that guy.
Who would be if you had? I don't know half the people on D'Lo's team. Neither is D'Lo.
D'Lo looked up like, who's the weirdest person?
Oh, that's not
over
true.
here?
I am very familiar with Weekend and his works. I am a big fan of
You
Weekend.
thought he had
Lambos.
Lambos. He's got Corvettes.
Okay, is that really the aspect that I care about in this game?
Yes.
Unless he's gonna be playing like in his car or run down the enemies, I'm not really minding that too much. That's okay.
Oh my god.
Z-Tantalus. That's the dynamic duo right there. He got mixed personalities.
I mean, they got chemistry.
Call him Y&W Melly.
I feel sick. So with that, let's discuss teams. So first, we got to give our teams names. Naturally, right?
I have mine.
I bet. Go on.
Go gentle into that good smite.
What?
He
Is
did
this
not
just
go
like
gentle.
Is
did
this
not go
like a
gentle.
reference? I'm not understanding.
He did not go gentle into that good night. He did not go gentle into that good smite.
He did not go gentle into that good night. Okay.
Did y'all never read what's it, All Quiet on the Western Front? Some illiterate people out here with me.
Gentle.
Shame, for shame.
Did
Was that the
not
Was that the
go
movie?
gentle into
It's a
the
book, you
night.
dummy. You didn't
Ooh,
read that?
Was that in the movie? Am I thinking of the right thing?
I mean, it is in a movie
I'm
as
just gonna-
well.
Okay,
but
I'm
Yeah, like a few years.
They
ago,
are
right?
named No Gentle. This was all
Gentle-
time
yeah,
everybody.
we'll go with
You could
that.
pick anybody. I made the mistake of saying SPL, SCC, or amateur if you
Yeah,
wanted.
And then D'Lo did
And
this.
then D'Lo decided, let's pick some amateur people up.
You said I could. It's on you.
And you took it as a challenge. That's not on me.
Yeah.
don't get offered the option if you don't want. If you are going to say to someone that the door is open, someone's going to probably walk through.
The door's closed.
Yours is.
The door is
Mine
not
is too,
open.
actually.
Hang on, I'm breaking things. All right, team names aren't going to show. I give up on that already.
That's all right. That's
No.
all right.
But we will
You know
name
what?
them
We
still.
can-
We
we
have
can
Team
know
No
them in advance.
Gentle. This will show up in the screenshot after the fact. Fisher, what would you like to name your team?
I gotta think. I didn't have a good name in mind, so I'm just gonna
Zebra
steal an
Kicks.
SPL teams that I really like. I'm gonna just be the Solar Scarabs. I like their name a lot.
Okay. Compared to what D'Lo did, I'll allow Solar Scarabs without even a fuss.
Gentle into that
Thank
good
you.
smite is good. That's a good reference. That's literary. It's thought-provoking. It's about war. It's about
Gentle
peace,
into
it's about
smite?
love. It's about loss. Gentle into that good smite. Because the line is, he did not go
Into
gentle
that
into that good night.
Good. I named them Gentle
just
into
pick a team.
TGS because I only have so much space to type, and you're gonna be happy with it.
T-G-I-S. I'm fine with that.
Okay. My team name. I am going to go. That's mean. I'm not gonna go with that. I'm gonna call them Sunbreakers. I was gonna name the team like Deny Fine OK a ring because this whole team is just denying Fine OK championship rings.
Just a little mean.
If you
Just a
look
little.
across the board, but I'm gonna go Sunbreakers. SDL lore. So
Hey,
those are our teams. All-time SPL, and D'Lo went with Z-Tan and Z-Tantalus too. It's
All-time SPL and
one person
associates.
from the amateur leagues has made it onto a roster with dust.
I think he'll be very
Weekend
pleased to
and
know that
Con.
I've rotated him in. I think Z10 will be he'll be tickled pink to realize
they
that I
aren't gonna
recognize
make
his
it.
value.
They're not even gonna make it to scrims. They're gonna play one match of the day to try to test out their group cohesion and need a whole new roster fielded. They're gonna be trying
My
to bend
hope
the
is that-
rules like a content creator cup team.
My hope is that honestly, within that one practice game, though, I'll get like years worth of YouTube content. I'm gonna get so many shorts. The
Yeah, you
algorithm's
can
gonna be
content
fed
farm. You're
solely
gonna be
by
posting
me.
like Hazer.
Exactly. I don't even care. I'm just building up that AdSense, baby.
I'm
like
so
you can
frustrated
keep
by
all
your
your money
team.
for victory.
It's like
My team's great.
it's physically bothering me to like. I'm so upset.
Sorry to hear that.
All right.
More bothered when we win.
Let's pose for the screenshots of the teams. So who's gonna tell
Excellent.
Z10 needs to play on 2 accounts at once is gonna make the screenshot. So wait, I need to get my thumb into it.
Yeah, I also get with him in it.
I missed my screenshot button.
Embarrassing.
Got it that time.
Nice.
There you
Oh
go. I
my
changed my
goodness.
post. Everyone else was doing thumbs up.
D'Lo looks a little bit DUI Bacchus in his screenshot, and I think that adds character.
That does. You know me. I'm always an advocate for talking about running over people in my cats.
Nice.
These teams.
It's okay. I don't own a car here.
So
I don't drive
okay.
in Buenos Aires.
You gotta turn it into. a
Aside
forest
from
something.
the
We need people
obvious,
to vote.
right? Delo's team they're not even first rounded, they're FFing. I mean, they're team envious. They're buying
No, they're
Kalaria
not.
boots. They're buying Curse and Sprint, and Hindu Man's yelling at them before the day ends. So the matchup between my team and Fisher's team,
Let's
This
focus
seems
on
unfair.
this one.
I'm kind of torn because I do think in this context, I mean, Emilito did beat Zapman in that season pretty consistently, but Zapman did have kind of proven, and I feel like Zapman got a little bit better kind of as time went on. So
Right.
I do think the
Plus, you
matchup
always
between us is very
also gotta
interesting.
Consider, like if they're not in their primes, like just because Emil got the better of Zap one season, like if that's not considered his prime, like that almost just doesn't matter like as much. Obviously, still a little bit, right?
I do like
But
that
anything else
question
on that?
really quick though. If you had to pick two other SPL players, Dilo, to fill out your roster, who would they be?
I guess like if I am sticking with a theme, I would put in MLC Stealth because genuinely at his peak, his Scylla and Nox gameplay. I mean, to be fair though, Nox in this meta would not be doing the same things, but his gameplay of that was genuinely incredibly impressive, and also would be good drama. So I would farm that still. ADC, what controversial ADCs are there out there? I was looking this up earlier. I couldn't find any ADC beef. I was only
Didn't,
finding a lot of.
See, actually, okay, I could cook for you. Barracuda's fire on this team because everyone's arguing.
Barracuda's playing with them.
Everybody's fighting. There's drama. There's drama everywhere. I mean, then you basically just have like a team, sure, but who else? Didn't Oceans have drama?
It was Oceans was the one who played with PBM. That was the new
Yes.
formed ALG. That was it. Thank you for that. Was killing me too the entire time. I thought it was Seagull for a second. I knew it was something to do with water.
DM Brandon.
Anyway, I thought it. I didn't even want to approach that one because of
If
course in
DM
the Smite
Brandon's
YouTube
on
video-
that team, they aren't making it past the roster submission.
Yeah, I know. Like, that's the thing. I was not looking for that. I was like, okay, there's a line, and you know what's funny? In the video that I did watch though of top 10 Smite drama, of course, who was at the very top of it? But
not
our
the
good friend
first
DM
round,
Brandon.
no.
So,
Well, yeah.
like, if I'm looking for someone to like,
Oh, you
take
watched
on,
Taser's
like,
video?
Yes, I watched Hazer's video. Yes, exactly. Yes, I watched Hazer's top 10 video. Yes, exactly.
Semi-SPL team. It's SPL teams and D-Lo. Yeah, SPL
No.
teams and D-Lo.
It's SBL team and the winning team is what I'd like to prefer to call it.
Met Yankee was
If that's
also
what you wanna
controversial,
name
but
your
Met
team,
Yankee
you're
had a
just lying.
bang and
It's
ho
so
yee.
Where was actually? You know what? We're looking for SPL players. You know, I've seen someone who's talking a lot of crap. You know, who's in the roster now? Nobofish. Nobofish, you're in the roster now too.
No, it's not Nobo.
We need an SPL player.
Nobo Fish is-
I love you, Nobo. You were on there from. Give me an SPL ADC.
Do Panda
I
Cat.
guess-
Just do Panda Cat.
No, I'm not gonna do Panda
Alright.
Cat. We're gonna make someone off roll.
Meerkat,
I'm gonna make Jake.
soloed by Meerkat.
I'm making Jake off roll. He deserves another chance.
I'm so fucking
I'm
bad.
making Jake off roll.
I gotta
think there'll be
go
good
back.
synergy there.
Now we have two Z-Tins.
So-
This is a mess.
I think there'll be good synergy there between
I'll
him
do
and
Z.
Incon. Two player. It's no, actually, if you, hold on. This is actually kind of genius if you think about it. Two players who have been spited by their prior teams and are now seeking redemption. Kind of a beautiful storyline.
But that
That's
doesn't
kind of
fit in
beautiful.
with the rest of your five. Like,
That's okay. There's multiple
you're
storylines.
just
We're
like
deep.
changing your moral.
No, we're deep. We
You
go
have
deeper than
to.
that. There's
New
multiple
pose, new pose,
storylines.
new
gotta
pose. This
commit
needs
to
this needs a
Okay.
new post.
I don't. How do I post this? I'm like,
Thumbs up.
Just put a thumbs
I
up.
feel good about this.
Thumbs up, open mouth. What?
There was, I don't know. That got me. Something about that comment got me.
Hashtag screw. All right, hold on. Hashtag saying Tila's team is so.
It's so bad. The
Hashtag-
weekend.
You weren't here for the entire thing, bro. There's a method to
You know
my
how
madness,
earlier we
and
were
you're-
talking about team comms and wanting to hear team comms? If there's one thing I will absolutely
that's exactly
concede,
what I'm thinking,
is
though.
I would
That's-
give an infinite amount of fucking money to
Exactly.
listen to the team comms of Gentle
Exactly.
into the
Gentle into this good Smite is having the most crazy team
Hey,
comms of all
Glacier,
time, bro.
watch it.
Oh my god.
the
So, I'm happy with my team
Peak
comm.
Baronic was crazy. Peak Baronic was
we
crazy.
got so unhinged with this draft that like I took Paul first and that wasn't the biggest story. Like that somebody got away with taking Paul.
Yeah, because I got Z10.
It's not got away. It's the first pick. It's not like you stole it. Like,
Would that have been your first
I
pick
mean,
too?
technically,
I'd argue adapting at 4 would be a steal.
Yeah, I would
just
agree with
because
that.
I wanted to go Baronic. If I didn't want to go
D'Lo,
Baronic,
would you
I
have still
would've taken
picked
Paul.
Weekend if you were first overall?
yes.
That's wild.
Okay.
To be
Somebody
fair,
ban
like
Odin.
I gotta actually I do gotta genuinely give some props to Weekend. He is kind of the reason why I stuck into Smite to a certain extent. So I'm paying some respects. He's the reason I'm here in the first place.
Alright.
Well,
Aztec is now
Aztec has declared himself a D'Lo hater, and I like to say
Good.
that means
Join
the majority.
squad. That's okay.
I think it's very
Go ahead.
interesting. The majority of D'Lo haters are solo laners.
Ooh,
Can't be.
I am noticing that. It's because they're all jealous of Dust. Clearly.
Yeah.
That's what
the
it
reason.
is.
Hit the nail on the head.
That's what it is.
Okay, we got to get back to the conversation
Yes.
between me and Anthony. Who wins?
I'm
think,
kind of with
like-
Glacier. I do think Paul absolutely clears Baronic, and it's not even like a discussion. Benji's gonna do the
Okay.
Benji thing and probably get soloed like 6 times.
I'm sorry.
I mean, I'll like. Sorry, go ahead.
The
D'Lo.
Delo's for you
No,
in
I
the chat.
just wanna-
Aztec said
I
I
just wanna
played
quickly
Ymir for you,
apologize to
D'Lo, and you're
Aztec.
making this team behind absolute
Aztec,
disappointment.
I appreciate you, buddy. And you know who's also would play Ymir for me though? Incon. He totally would take one for the team, bro. Like I feel like this is a team who I can really just kind of just form with my own 2 hands. I can really do whatever I want with this. I feel like free. Don't you feel it? Can't you feel the power? You guys just don't get the vision. You'll
Going
see.
back to
back
the
to
actual teams against the actual
Yeah,
teams.
yeah.
The
Okay.
team fight stage, the late game is super interesting to me because there's so many players who play for late. Like Emilito was never really. I mean, Emilito would get solo kills, but usually it's because he was gapping the other ADC. And kind of the same story with PBM. I feel like you have and Paul and how Paul fights in teams. You have sort of this weird dynamic of everybody's playing for the late game, so it's just season. It's post 9.5 SPL. There's 2 kills at 45 minutes in game 5. So I feel like it's just gonna come down to a difference of Paul. I mean, it'd be really hard to convince me otherwise of that. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
Unless you
I don't
get
know.
some kind of
See-
legacy performance from Adapting or Zapman that would somehow surpass what they had already done.
See, like I'm counting on a few things, right? The Zap passive. If this is a championship, Zap's winning it. I don't care how good Paul is. No one's beaten Zapman in the championships. Plus, I think having Baronic Giannis when he was on it, like on the Scarabs, was incredible. I think that adds a ton. I mean, I'll concede, like Baronic versus Paul straight up. I think it goes to Paul, right? But then again, I'm also pretty high on the combo of Benji adapting. I think that's almost unbeatable, even with Lasper Deathwalker, who are really good. But yeah, I mean, I think I agree with the chatters. The mid diff is probably too much. I should take him like Yaman or someone. But Baronic fan for life, dude. Gotta go with it.
I hope Z-Tan's your best friend after this, D'Lo.
It's okay. We've already
Respect
discussed
that you
the
have
deal.
put on his name. he's
going
a
to Vegas.
shining star on this team.
Yeah. Z10, I'm looking. I want all my homies to eat. I'm just trying to raise my SDL
this
boys
whole
up.
team comp comes down to, like, does MLC Stealth's fingers still work? And is he in mid or is it Z10? And has Awesome Jake tilted from this team composition and is Z10 and ADC and just kind of holding on? See, you even broke
First time
Z10.
chat.
That kind of hurts that he's a first time chatter on my stream.
Oh, it's
That's
so
crazy.
funny.
That's
Yeah, Z.
crazy.
So hold on. I summoned him by
Cool.
invoking his name
Does
twice
that mean
in
we
my
have an
team
SPL
list.
player in the chat? That's crazy.
We do. Look at that in our first episode too. You're all freaking welcome, guys.
That's so crazy.
Anyway.
Thank you.
Yeah, the go.
So,
Dude made it onto
Z10.
this list somehow.
Z10,
the
if I
first
can
to say
explain
it.
real quick,
Please do.
if I can explain, I had like my vision here is I'm looking for a content team, right? I'm looking for like the team 10 of Smite. I'm just like trying to make some like sick dance videos. Anyway, so I had locked in Weekend Dust Incon. I'm thinking, of course, who do I want for my ADC other than Z-Tactilis, obviously. And then I'm thinking, mid, I could go MLC Stealth, but this makes it like too much of just ALG in its heyday. Who else can I go for but the GOAT himself, Z-Tan? Am I right? Right?
You're something. I mean,
There's no Z10 says there's no explaining this, homie. The only content you're making is throwing peek into this is black market snuff films.
Black market stuff films. That is what Delo's created.
We'll do it live. It's gonna go great.
Okay.
Don't worry. I'm sending you the contract right now, buddy. Make sure to sign.
There's your all-time SPL roster. I'll go ahead and read through for those who are only listening. In the solo lane for my team, you've got Deathwalker, Jungle, Lasbra, Mid, Paul, support PBM, and ADC is Emilito. For Kingfisher, I'm skipping Delo's team for now, you've got solo lane Benji, Jungle adapting, mid lane will be Oberonic, support will be Genetics, and ADC will be Zapman, and then Delo! On the D-low, on the down low, on the high key fucked up, has drafted Dustin solo. Jungle is Weaken. Mid is a tag team combination of Z-Tan and MLC. Support is Incon. ADC is Z-Tantalus / Awesome Jake off-rolling. And that is
They share a keyboard. They share a keyboard.
Yeah, no,
Z10 gets WASD.
Yeah, the chat could make a team and probably compete with
What's you got, Fisher?
How funny would it be? So Z-Tan is just running back and forth between the two keyboards. MLC and Jake are just taking over when he's away.
Or they can only use the mouse.
Split time between mid and ADC. Yeah, he's just got
That's
one
fun.
on a different monitor.
He has two wireless mice, and he's just kind of like dueling pianos.
Z10, when Z10's running between the keyboards, he has to do it at a potato sack too. He's gonna like hop.
He's way too old for that. That potato sack is not making it across. He's
knees aren't
breaking
making
two
it
hips and an
across.
ankle.
Oh my god.
I'm picking
I'm really happy with my
San
draft.
and Julio on my team. True. Also, yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Julio was one I was looking at.
Sot was somebody who I did have
too.
in my brain for sure.
Solar Troll is disgusting. Like when he gets on his good pick.
I mean, Solar Troll's
almost pick
team is
Sot for
clearing
Solo.
SMITE 2 esports, and I kind of expect them to continue to do that once esports does get running. So there's also a discussion. I mean, I kind of for this list in my brain, it's sort of SMITE 1 as a discussion. But if this is a SMITE 2 list, then I'm not gonna lie to you. It's probably got to go to my team because Paul, have you guys seen his KDA in SMITE 2? It was like 81 after this last weekend tournament because he's died two total times and now 3 tournaments. And if he hadn't died those 2 times, Paul's KDA would be 128 flat. So,
Yeesh.
That's not alright. That's just dang.
well, we go back to the yap and scream. Paul's better. I don't care who you are on the planet. Paul is better. Said by Aggro, copied by me.
That is kind of fitting that it went to you too. Like you're the one that made the call. Like Paul couldn't go to anyone else there. That was a play.
Paul entering a mage, an only mages joust competition
so
for like 2,000 gems, and then leaving the Discord as a top 10 experience.
It was so crazy too, because like that was like I don't know about you at least, but that was like my first experience like with any SPL or like bigger level pro, like getting to cast them. So it was pretty cool in that tourney.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was really fun when and for context for those listening, we had a mage all mages joust tournament for SDL. As I mentioned, Paul entered with a team of friends, and they naturally won. I believe C-Host was on the team that was runner-up. I don't remember who else was on the team. Might have been Sam and Sam, but definitely had C-Host on it, and they at least competed.
Yeah, it was Sam.
Glacier said, I think if I got to make a team, I'm going to go EU heavy with guys not picked. Dimmy, Cuvo, Fred, Dardes, Trixtank, and Panda Cat. That's a really good team. Dimmy
I like Trixtank quite a
goes
bit.
crazy on that team and really sets up. Variety. I think I mentioned it. I was Deathwalker or Variety.
You took a spot,
Yeah,
Z10.
you did
Took a
mention
spot twice. Congrats.
Yeah, I was very torn between Deathwalker and Variety. So while chat's still talking, and please continue the conversation about rosters, I do kind of want to end on a more fun topic, being as this is the first episode and things are running shorter. We went faster than I would have expected. We yapped less. Maybe I shouldn't have cut the Star Wars conversation so short. Of all
I would have gotten more hate. I would have just gotten more haters added to the list so far of adding Spirit. I've got it all written down here.
You have a reverse.
All you
death
guys
note?
doubting me, you're going down in this book, and you're popping up in the obituaries in a week. Good luck.
Yeah. I did want to mention.
Throwing out threats on the first podcast is crazy.
It is crazy. I did want to mention and kind of get an idea from you guys. If you could have, and chat, please feel free to be included and drop some names. If you could have one kind of dream guest, Smite related, esports related, that we could talk to, who would it be? And ask Hindu Man, the first mention coming out from Cat and chat. That's fair.
This actually is tough.
I was gonna say, are we supposed to be thinking about this too, or is this?
Yeah, I mean, you guys can also think about it.
Yeah.
You are on.
Okay.
You are on the podcast.
Wait, are we really? Where's the podcast?
Taco.
Hidden cameras. Taco is a fun.
That's a good one.
So we're talking strictly Smite right now, right? Or
I mean,
esports generally,
Smite, esports in
Tom
general is
Brady.
fine too. But some kind of
Tom
like
Brady,
Smite
get outta
related. But
here.
now we're just naming casters. But I'm down with the Dulcin as well. Cooper or Vinny. Ask about the admin side of things. I like that.
I know April will definitely agree with that one too. I'm sure.
Yeah, especially Cooper is somebody who's been talked to a lot, but having somebody like Vinny on too, who definitely I think has done a lot, would be really cool. Me and Kat, okay, Victoria. All right, what do you guys got? You've had time to think.
Fisher, you go first. I'm still considering.
Yeah, I can go first. Like obviously, there's a lot of people. I think Inbound would be pretty cool. Like he was on the Solar Scarabs, which is awesome. But also, like, he was a player and a caster, right? Like, he's kind of seen both sides of it. I think it'd be really interesting to get his perspective on, like, how the league works, like, what he likes about it, what's interesting, that kind of stuff. Like, there's not many people that I think would know the league, like, kind of that completely through. Or maybe there are, and I just don't know, because I don't follow it as close. But yeah, I think that'd be a cool one.
I would love to talk to Lore Lady. Just to hear her dulcet
Just hear the voice in
tones.
person.
Oh, exactly. But also, I think it would be cool to see her perspective as far as how she's seen this game grow, since she's like obviously not the first thing you think of when you think of Smite, but at the same time, she's an integral, foundational part of it. Exactly, she's like a foundational part of it. So I actually think that would be really interesting to see like her perspective as she's seen the game grow. I'm curious, like just how she views like the world of video games. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I genuinely would love to talk to Lore Lady.
I'd love to see somebody pick Paul's brain. Paul strikes me as somebody who you ask him to do an interview and he says, "Are you sure?" But I like that. I would love to know, because I always think about the time he played Scylla and they interviewed him after. I think Finch asked him, or somebody, it might have been Aggro, asked Paul, like, what was the logic behind the Scylla pick, and he was like, I don't know. I figured I could probably play it. I don't play it a lot, and it's just like, I'm sorry, what? You just dropped a legacy performance on this character. You just made Scylla look like she was an S-tier character at the time. And you haven't played her? And now she's getting respect banned as well? That's an interview that's always stuck out in my brain. The Jorby mention is actually really funny, because Jorby, for those who do not know, as Jorby's not a Smite-centric caster, he is a Rocket League caster. He's been nominated for Esports Play-by-Play of the Year, but he is a Smite fan through and through, and like an OG Smite fan at that. Like, I mean, we're talking, he watched the same, like, we were talking about Season 3 Worlds earlier. He's got really good memories of that from a conversation we had once, so that'd be pretty cool. Kind of hear, like, what it's like to, be a Smite fan, but be at the top of a different esport, because, that happens a lot, oddly enough. Yeah, I think of people like Golden Boy, who was at all the original Worlds and has been hosting VCT the last couple weeks.
Bring Captain Flowers on here too, man. That would be sick. If we're talking about casters, like
Flowers played Smite. There was a video he posted not long ago that was casting other esports, and he's going through and they're like, well, what other games have you played? He goes, oh, I played a bit of Smite. Don't know anything about their esports scene though. And he goes and he proceeds to cast a bunch of games. Smite was not included, but yeah, I couldn't believe hearing like the top voice of League of Legends say that they played Smite. I mean, that's like hearing Batman say,
even the top
I
voice
was
of
just
League of Legends
reading
got to
the
get
Avengers.
tired of their community, bro. Even he's got to get tired of his own community, I'm sure, at some points. He's got to be like, man, everyone here is so toxic. Get out. Got to play some Smite. And then he gets into an arena lobby, the one that we were in, where that soul just instantly started spamming VGS, and he's like, never mind, it's not great here either. I'm just going to go to bed.
I did like the Taco mention as well. I think Taco, I said this before, but I think Taco was one of probably my favorite tier 2s. I really liked a lot of her points, especially when she, like, towards the later end of her career casting Smite. I think there were some really interesting points she bring up. She's currently a play-by-play caster for Fortnite. You can see her doing like Worlds Grand Finals for Fortnite. A lot of cool stuff there. Smite people tend to, if they leave, they really go far and do some really cool things. So It's a week. Smite's a starting point and a launch pad for a lot of people in a very surprising way. Well, guys, we did it.
We did.
Claps.
I've ruined some friendships along the way.
You did.
Made some new friendships, and I made
burnt some bridges.
That's okay.
Between
make new ones.
going after players for wards, and
Oh, boy.
drafting crazy teams, saying you hate
All I gotta say,
Obi-Wan.
Anthony. All I gotta say, Anthony. I'm expecting big things from these players. I'm expecting big things from these players.
Big things.
Expecting big things.
All those D-Lo stands that like to kind of compare us. I'd like to say like
all none.
He hated the show.
Oh
He
my
hated the show.
Whoa!
I should
Yeah,
clarify.
Glacier
I
said-
should clarify. He hated the
Thinks it's
show.
horrible.
No.
Hates Star Wars
Anthony's
too.
now
This
slandering me.
entire
I
franchise.
corrected.
About to get a cease and desist in the mail. This is about to be. You want to see the drama fly on my team? We're about to see it fly on the podcast right now. I'm about to file an absolute massive lawsuit. Logan Paul versus CoffeeZilla is about to look like a playground bully fight. But anyway, yeah, Obi-Wan series terrible. Spirit of Book, learn it. Okay, Glacier, learn the same thing. You don't think so? Go back, rewatch the series, then slam your head into a wall 4 times. 'Cause it's the same exact thing.
Oh my god.
That's all.
You know what? This is the end of the road, Dilo. It's been fun casting together.
That was,
Oh man.
the bang your
Crazy.
head into a wall comment was outlandish.
Dunk your head into a Sarlacc pit.
So, like, okay,
whatever you want to do, bro.
If
If we zoom out on this podcast, you've talked about Bacchus getting a DUI and running over a kid. You talked about
That's just normal. I do that during a cast too. I did it during a cast. That's nothing new.
It doesn't make it better.
play some
I think so.
Cocomelon.
That could be fun.
Can we just
Double.
spin a wheel on Mr. Screen, see if Dilo gets kicked off the podcast or not?
And gets replaced by Mr. Screen. See, that's
Mr.
why I
Screen
named
is
him
already in
Mr.
this
Screen. I
episode.
knew
We're
he'd
already
become a
making
leading
cast
character
changes.
by episode 2. We're still in episode 1.
Mr. Screen's already against you,
still is
Fisher.
by
You don't want
episode
him.
1.
He's with us all in our hearts.
Mr. Screen is against me. The chair too hate from the wheel, man, has to stop.
All right, guys. Final thoughts,
these days, one
D'Lo.
of these days.
Starting with you, because you started with Fisher so many times tonight. It's only fair. First episode in the
It's been
books. We
fun.
did it. Team sucked. Anyway.
Yeah, man. No, genuinely, I want to actually genuinely thank everyone who's watching. Even the people who are saying, man, Dealo's watched, you're right. You're absolutely correct. But it's been fun nonetheless to show. And I really hope that we can have more fun chats like this. Won't always be us and Hinge, guys. I promise you. I do have some decent takes at Smite sometimes when I... No, I don't. Never mind. This is going to be more the same. But that being said, thank you all for watching. We appreciate your time. We hope you stick around for some more fun stuff in the future.
Loyal, obedient viewers. Is that the D'Lo line?
My loyal, obedient viewers. You know it.
Oh, man. Fisher, any final thoughts from you?
Yeah, it was
Our
fun.
Birdly
Kinda
aquatic
Dilo.
friend.
Birdly aquatic friend, yeah, just checking all the boxes there. Like Dilo said, it was definitely fun. Thank you to everyone for watching and chatting too. It's really nice being able to like interact with other people while we're doing it. I think that's pretty cool. I don't know how many places do that, but definitely a fun one. And I gotta say, I hope we get even more off topic next time. As
I'm
much
sure
as
we
this is
will.
like a Smite-centered podcast, the three of us are best when we're going off on weird tangents, talking about stuff. It's like we're in the prep phase and a team's taking a 5-minute timeout. We're like hitting that level 5 minutes into the podcast. I think that's at the right
It was
level.
literally
That's
5
definitely
minutes.
right. Yeah, no,
Round the
we
dot.
hit it on the note. We're nothing if not consistent.
We're nothing if not consistent indeed. But yep, that is going to do it. Number 1 in the books. First episode, Late at Smite, is over with. If you liked it, make sure you let us know. Do all the things that you're always asked to do, because those things, unfortunately, really help. Stuff doesn't get found otherwise. Episode 2 won't take long to come out. Smite 2 is around the corner, August 27th. And when that's out, we're going to be yapping about Smite 2. Patch notes on Thursday. We'll have that to talk about. Lots of fun stuff. I've been Malum. I had D'Lo. I had Kingfisher. You were the obedient viewer, in the words of D'Lo. And we'll see you next time on Late at Smite. We'll leave you on a screen that says be right back, but this is our outro. See ya.
We'll never come back. Bye.